Okay, so if you've ever been on the parental side of naming a child, you know it's not as easy as you might think it would be. You got this whole list of names in your head. When the kid finally, pops right out of the womb, you're like, well, what do we want to call him? I've got this whole list of names I wrote down on this little college-ruled notebook that I was keeping around for like 9 months at the time. I was thinking every time I saw something cool, I was like, maybe I named the kid this, maybe I named the kid that. I was at the grocery store and I saw some salad dressing and I'm like, maybe I should name my kid Newman. Not after the Jerry Seinfeld character, of course, but after the famous salad dressing, Newman's Own. Of course, Newman's Own also produces things such as popcorn and probably some sort of jams or peanut butters or lemonades or something like that. But the thing about Newman's Own is that all profits, okay, all the profits that they make from the products go to charity. And charity is such an important cause, no matter what it is. You could be funding kids with broken arms in Sri Lanka. You could be funding all the Japanese people to get their eyes fixed so that they're round instead of slanty. You could be fixing, world hunger or whatever. People are starving all over the earth. It's their own fault. Why don't they just get a job? They could go to their local In-N-Out or the local Come and Go or something like that. Just get a job as a cashier or maybe a janitor or something like that. It's not like that's hard to do. There's got to be plenty of McDonald's or Walmarts in India, Bangladesh, New Delhi for these people to get jobs at. But instead, they're taking our jobs here in the U.S. with all the people that we need to have over here who don't have jobs. There's like a 5.6 unemployment rate and. Pardon me for saying this out loud, but I think 5.6 is a little too high if you catch my drift. People, they just don't want to work is what it is. There's a welfare program in place for people who don't want to work, and if you gotta have people not working like that, then I guess you're supporting a lifestyle that I don't think you're prepared to support long term, especially for as many people as are on welfare in this country as there are, which should mostly be the disabled, the elderly, and the parents of newly born children who don't have time for a job anymore, especially if that job doesn't pay them well enough. Maybe they're working as like a cashier at Whataburger down in Dallas or something like that. I don't know. They're not making enough money and they make more money off of welfare, so why not do welfare? And that's kind of the mindset that people have when they get on welfare. So without further ado, I guess we'll go on to start this game here. It's called, we got the title screen right here. It's called The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DXTM, and I am so ecstatic to play it. So without further ado, I am SparkleDart and welcome to my show. Everybody talks about this game, Zelda, and I'm like, what is this Zelda? Is that like Robin Williams' daughter? She's a real cutie, and I think she might be, she might be old enough for someone like me to, so I'm being crass. I would never do something like that. I'm a stand-up guy. I would never treat a woman like she was a piece of meat, something for me to ogle with my eyes, and they really do deserve, a love and respect, and I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I think there's a lot of people who think that women are lesser for some reason, and I don't really get that. It doesn't make sense to me. Women are on the same playing field as us, even if they're, the game that they're playing is a lot more complicated, a lot more complex. They're playing a game that we don't understand so well, so we like to say that they're just a completely different species entirely, like as a joke, like as a nudge, nudge, wink, wink kind of joke, wherein you might be saying something that isn't factual, but has an underlying hint of truth to it. So I guess my point would be that, women are our friends, not our foes. I don't know if you want to say they're our allies. That makes it seem like we're in some sort of war, and I guess as a resident of the United States of America, we always are at some sort of war. That's just kind of the way that it is. I think since this country was founded in 1776 on July 4th by all sorts of founding fathers, we've been maybe at war or we've been at peace, I guess would be the opposite of being at war. We've been at peace for something like 12 years, and I don't think 12 years is a very long amount of time for us to be not at war. 12 years ago was 2003, and in 2003 was a about the time that things started to go shit, such as popular media or whatever else you may have that doesn't quite live up to the standards of today. And I'm not being, I'm not being, like, theatrical or cinematic when I say that. I really think things are crappier now than they were back then, but that's just my own opinion. Everybody else has their own opinion, and I would never try to force my opinion on you, especially if you don't want to hold the same opinion as me. So, I guess, going back to what I was talking about, ladies, now, a lot of people think that ladies are misrepresented or underrepresented or have some sort of lack of representation in popular media, and I don't necessarily think that that's true, but they do say that women often play a more passive role, whereas men play a more active role in, like, cinema and movies and video games and television programs, and, that might be true. And I feel like a lot of women are treated as plot devices in a way that maybe might not seem so, I guess, decent. I guess you could say it's not really up to me to make those sort of judgment calls, since I'm not the person who makes movies or anything like that. I'm just somebody who watches a lot of movies. I consume media. That's what I do. That's who I am. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If there's something wrong with that, I would hope that you'd have the heart to tell me, the decency to tell me straight up to my face that what I'm doing is wrong by taking a more passive role in the media consumption part of things. As a person who does own and manage a YouTube account, I do create media, but not the kind of media that people really care about, I guess you could say. Hollywood is the big thing these days. There's a lot of people in Hollywood who would have you believe, or who would have you pay, I guess I could say, to force their opinions and beliefs on everybody else, like Vince Vaughn. I talked about Vince Vaughn before, and he's a nice fella, he's a nice guy, and I think a lot of people should listen to the things that he says. I think he's got a very strong libertarian point of view, and libertarianism is not a bad thing. It's actually kind of a decent thing, if you ask me. It's something that I think we can all learn to appreciate. How am I doing here? 10. Okay, well, that's a pain in my... That's a thorn in my side if I ever did see one. Okay. Oh, you fucking dick. Get out of here, you piece of shit. Okay, so anyways. Ladies, all I'm saying is that if you want to play a more active role, then you gotta get out there and be a badass. That's all you gotta do, is you gotta be a badass. They make movies about women who are badasses. You know who was a badass? Mary Curie. She discovered... I don't know if discovered is the appropriate term or not, but she pioneered the research on radiation and radiation poisoning, and basically killed herself with radiation, which is super badass. Now, you see a lot of comic books these days, they do things like get radiation sickness or whatever, and they turn into the Green Hulk and the Red Menace and the Dusty Devil and all sorts of, superheroes like that these days. They exist, and they all seem to have been inspired by radiation and sickness and poisoning, and it's not really a laughing matter. People get cancer from that stuff. They die, Astronauts, they go into space, and they have to wear these protective suits against radiation so that they can live and thrive in a world wherein there is so much radiation that it just turns you into superheroes, and that's what it does. That's apparently what we're supposed to gain out of this. So kids, if you're going to take that to heart, I guess, do not, stick your face in the microwave or nothing like that. It's not a good idea. It's never been a good idea. Let me go. Yeah, let me go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I understand. Okay, so, listen, just don't get radiation sickness, and we've got nothing to worry about. We're one big happy family, and we will always have each other's back as long as we're not making stupid decisions. Now, if you're gonna make stupid decisions, I'm not going to have your back, and that's just kind of another SparkleDart guarantee, I guess you could say. I'm not going to have your back. If you're going to be a stupid fucking idiot, then I guess you deserve to have all the bad things coming to you that you're going to have coming to you. That's just the way that things are. I would never, never once in a million years recommend that you do something stupid for the sake of a joke or for comedy or whatever else it might be. But if you're going to be doing something stupid, at least make it worth your while. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you're not... Okay, well, that was... Yes, okay, I got the thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you! Comedy, that's important. Just do things that you think are funny, and then other people will think they're funny too. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so, if you're going to try to be a comedian, it's important that you understand... Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. It's important that you understand that there are people who've got different opinions and thoughts and ideas on all sorts of things that are funny, and if they're not funny, then people can be like, well, I don't think that's funny, so you should stop doing that right away. I would never, in a million years, hope that you would do something so mindless, reckless, as to injure yourself for the sake of comedy, like that show Jackass starring Viva La Bam and Steve-O, and who was that tiny man? Mini-Me? Wee Man was what he was called. He wasn't like he was a Vern Troyer type person, but he wasn't Vern Troyer. He had the same probably affliction that Vern Troyer has, which is probably some sort of dwarfism or something like that. You know, I saw a funny picture of Vern Troyer eating a sandwich that was like just as big as his whole body. And the crazy thing about midgets, I mean, I'm sorry, little people. The funny thing about little people is that a lot of their organs are the same size as yours and mine, it's just that the limbs and the proportions are way different. And I guess it's not really funny as much as it is interesting, because to say that it's funny implies that there's something to laugh about. And, you know, laughing at people who are different than you and me and, you know, everybody else, my dad, my mom, my sister, my brother Joshua. People who are different than me, but maybe have the same sorts of opinions or beliefs or whatever. It's not cool to laugh at them, you know. They're in the excuse me, tripping over my words here. They're in this for the long haul, just like you and I are. This whole life thing, we're gonna be at this for a very long time. So if you want to, I guess, pick on people who don't deserve it, then go ahead and redirect your hate towards me, because I can take it. You know, I'm a strong, independent man who don't need no man, and I can take it. I'm not black, though. Not that there's anything wrong with being black, but the joke that I just told there, it usually goes alongside being like an African-American type person, and if that's what you are, then I guess that's what you are. I got nothing wrong with those people. Those people, I'm sorry, you people is the more PC way to say that, right? You people. I got nothing wrong with you people. All I'm saying now is that, excuse me, I fell into the hole. That was my own mistake, and I choose to accept responsibility for the mistake that I made. See what I did there? I'm a very responsible guy. I'm a very responsible man, and that is a guarantee that I will make to you and to anybody else who wants to challenge me on it. You know, I will never back down from a challenge as long as it's something that is, you know, within my reasonable skill set. If you're gonna challenge me to something like a violin contest or something like that, I'm obviously not going to be able to participate because I don't know the first thing about playing violin, other than that you play it upright, or not upright, but you put the little indentation on your neck, and that's where the violin music comes from, right? So if you're gonna be doing it that way, I'm not going to be able to participate in such a thing, and you know, that's all I'm gonna say. Holy fuck. Okay, so with that being said, I have been SparkleDart. Please do not challenge me to a violin contest, and respect women, but also keep your eye out on them. They might be a little bit less trustworthy than you think. Okay, goodbye, SparkleDart boy. Mwah.